Today, I'm going to be breaking down the exact framework for scaling an OFM agency to multiple six figures per month. Okay, so if you're an agency that is above 15K a month and wants to get to 100K plus a month, then this video is going to be for you. I'm going to be going over what I call the 9 golden rules to be able to get from wherever you're at to wherever you're trying to go in that 6 figure a month mark. Now, how can I give you the information to do this? Well, I have literally worked with thousands of OFM agencies over the past 4 years. I've even scaled my own OFM agency to over $2 million a month as of recent. And I have got so much data, so many lessons in this industry across thousands of agencies, thousands of models. And I have condensed all of that information into this video today, into the 9 golden rules, into the framework of how to scale to your first 100K, 200K, 300K plus per month. Now, I want to be completely clear. I have no idea who the fuck you are. I have no idea how capable you are. I have no idea if you're even going to implement any of this shit. So I am not going to sit here and say that you're going to watch this video and get to 100K a month, right? Because it's unlikely you ever fucking get there, okay? Because the Bureau of Statistics state that you have a less than 1% chance, okay? And to get to $1 million a month like me, good fucking luck, right? There's a home run you need to hit. So I am not going to sit here and say, oh, if you watch this video, you're going to get 100K a month. Probably not, right? Probably fucking not. But I have helped hundreds of agencies get there at this point. But also I've had thousands of agencies work with me that have never got there, right? So that being said, if you want the best fucking chance, you should pay attention to this entire fucking video. Put your phone on Do Not Disturb, go lock it in another room, get a fucking notepad and a pen and start taking notes. Because these are not just like some bullshit 9 golden rules of like, oh, do this, do this, do this. This is an in-depth framework of the exact things that you're going to need to apply and learn if you ever even want to have the chance of getting to 100K a month, right? And also not just that, but how you can actually build a real business. Because I've seen a lot of people get to 6 figures a month and go back broke. Too many times. People think that, oh my God, I'm making all this money. They think it's going to last forever. It doesn't, because they didn't build it on the right foundations, right? Or they brute force their way to scale and they're a slave to their business. So if you actually want to grow a lean, profitable OFM agency and you want a chance to get to 6 figures a month, then pay attention to this fucking video and that's it. There's no one strategy that's going to allow you to scale your agency to 100K a month, right? There is no one playbook. There is no one template. There's no one funnel, platform, TikTok hack, contract, offer, avatar. Like there is no one thing. So I just want you to put every belief that you have aside on how you're going to scale to 100K a month and just pay attention to what I'm about to say, because this is actually based on fucking data, right? Like I didn't just make this up. Like this is from working with thousands of agencies, and genuinely there's not a single person in this industry that has more documented proof and real case studies of taking agencies from wherever they're at to multiple 6 figures a month. I have done this with over 100 agencies, right? It is my fucking forte, right? It makes my fucking dick up. That is how I do it, right? Like I fucking love this shit. I can take agencies to 100K a month like it's fucking nothing. But again, I just want to make sure that doesn't mean I'm going to take you to 100K a month, right? I'm just going to give you the lessons and the insights that I have learned from working with so many fucking agencies, right? So any belief you have around how the fuck you're going to scale your agency to $1 million a month, just put that on pause a minute, okay? So there's no one strategy, right? There's no one playbook. There's no one template. There's no one funnel. It is all about the foundations and 7-figure principles that you need to inject into your business, okay? And so with the right foundations and principles, all you need is hard work, a lot of hard work, and a little bit of creativity. That is it, right? So rule number 1 of the golden rules of scaling to 100K a month. Rule number 1 is simple. Irresistible offer. Okay? Rule number 1. Now, that is one stupid, simple, irresistible offer for one avatar, right? When I say avatar, I mean ideal customer profile. It could be called avatar, it could be called ICP, you might use niche. One specific avatar, right? One stupid, simple offer for one avatar, right? to the point where clients need to feel stupid saying no to your offer, right? And most agencies feel like the more offers, the better, or just in general, the more, the better. They think that if they have 8 different offers and 6 different services across 3 different avatars, like they think, oh, that's going to be the best thing. Like we need a chatting offer, we need an offer for this, we need an offer for accounting, we need an offer for DMCA, we need an offer for unbands, we need, 6 different services, we need to be serving 3 different types of creators, faceless, social media girls, beginners. Like they just think they need to do everything, but it's completely false, right? And that is why they stay stuck, or they can brute force their way to scale, but they're going to end up coming crashing down, or they're just going to be a slave to the business, making no profit, right? So in reality, right, if you want to scale, all you need is one niche / avatar, let's call it, okay? You need one offer, and you need one, you need one service. Okay, that is all you need. Like literally to scale to 100K a month, that is all you need, right? One niche and avatar, one offer, one service. Super, super simple. Okay, that's the first thing. That's the first rule of scaling to 100K a month, right? You have to become a fundamental seeker over becoming a strategy hunter. Everyone's chasing shiny objects. Everyone's chasing the latest and greatest strategy. They don't exist, right? You're just going to waste your time, effort, and energy. Now, that's the first thing, an irresistible offer. Now, the second thing, rule number 2, okay? Rule number 2 is you need to have value actions. Dylan, what is value actions? What the fuck does that mean? Most agencies focus on the wrong things, okay? They focus on things like website. Okay, they focus on their website. They focus on outreach messages. Can't spell. They focus on black hat marketing. Now, if you want to scale to 100K a month with your agency, your focus should mainly be on 4 things only, right? Fuck the website, fuck the outreach messages, fuck the black hat marketing. Your focus should be on 4 main things. Those 4 main things are going to be generating appointments, okay? Closing appointments, delivering amazing results, and systemizing and automating steps 1 to 3. Okay, so rule number 2 of getting to 100K a month is value actions, right? Because most agencies are focusing on the wrong thing. They spend their time focusing on the things that they want to do, right? So in a business, you're always going to have problems. No matter where you're at, no matter what level you're at, you're always going to have problems, okay? And you just have to be in the mindset of you're going to have to just these problems are fine to have. We've got to focus on whatever the main problem is. So if you're a beginner, right, and you don't have any models, anything, your sole focus, your number 1 constraint, if you don't have any models, you don't have a business, you're just starting out, your main constraint is the fact that no one knows who the fuck you are, right? Your main constraint is you don't have models. Your main constraint, therefore, is breaking out of obscurity. And how do you solve that? You solve it through acquisition, through promotion, through telling people about your shit. How do you do that? Well, you could do it through cold outreach. You could do it through warm outreach. You could do it through You could do it through paid ads. You could do it through inbound content, right? There's tons of different ways, but there's only 4 ways, really. There's 4 ways. Those are the 4 ways. That's pretty much, there's nothing else. They all fall into, subcategories, but there's only really 4 ways that you can tell people about your shit, right? So that is all you're focusing on. Now, the issue is people think that they need to focus on, they want to have a business, they want to have models, and they're like, okay, I'm going to focus on what my fulfillment system will look like and what my chatting team and structure is going to look like. And they don't even have those things yet, right? And it's because they wanna solve those problems. So you only focus on 4 things, right? Stop focusing on the website. That does not make a fucking difference. Stop focusing on black hat marketing. Instead, all you should be focusing on in the long run, right? If we even take constraints out of it, in the long run, the only thing you really focused on, generating appointments, because if you can't generate appointments, you're not going to have any clients. Closing those appointments, because if you don't close those appointments you're generating, the appointments are going to go to waste and you're not going to have any clients. Delivering amazing results for your clients. If you don't deliver amazing results for your clients, they're going to leave and you want to have a business, right? And you're not going to make any money, and cash is the lifeblood of your business. And then systemizing and automating those 3 steps. So you were then going to do it once. So you're going to generate an appointment, you're going to close a model, you're going to deliver amazing results for that model, and then you figure out how do you systemize and automate those steps. So that could look like, okay, generating appointments. I don't want to do that manually anymore. I'm going to hire an appointment setter. Cool. You've automated that first step. Okay, cool. Now closing appointments. Okay, I don't want to close appointments anymore. I'm going to hire a closer. Okay, cool. Now your appointment set is generating the appointments. Your closer's closing them, and then you're going to say, okay, I don't want to be in the trenches, coming up with content, delivering results. I'm going to bring in a creative director. So now you have your appointment setter generating the appointments, your closer closing the deals, and then your creative director delivering the service, and then you'll probably have chatters and all these other things. And then all of a sudden, you've systemized and automated those 3 steps, right? You've systemized acquisition and fulfillment, which is the only 2 things that you really have, right? And there's obviously tons of levels to how deep you go in terms of, automating and delegating and simplifying and eliminating. And there's a big, it goes deep in terms of scaling, but that's the simple way to look at it, right? All you should be focused on is, okay, we need more appointments. How do you do that? Okay, well, I can make inbound content. I could do outreach. I could do paid ads. I could start asking for referrals through warm outreach. Okay, cool. Now I need to close those appointments. Cool. Now I need to be able to deliver amazing results. Once you've done that a couple times, you then systemize and automate. You're going to be systemizing and automating that process constantly as the business gets bigger, right? So that's the easiest way to look at it. So value actions is rule number 2 of getting to 100K a month, okay? Now, rule number 3 of getting to 100K a month. Rule 3. Rule number 3 is what I call the math. Okay, now a lot of agency owners always have this big goal in mind that they want to make 10K per month, 30K a month, 50K a month, 100K a month, $1 million a month, right? But most of them have no idea what it actually takes to get there, right? And so I like to call it the raw math, right? So example, let's give an example. I'll give an example of a traditional service-based business, just so it's easier for you to understand, right? So let's just say you've got a traditional service-based business, right? And your service-based business is, let's just say you charge a retainer, right? And that retainer is $1,500 a month, right? Let's just say that's what it is. And let's just say your average retention rate is, let's just say 5 months, right? Just to make the math simple, right? So that means on average, you earn 7.5K per client, okay? You earn 7.5K per client. Now, let's look at the raw math, okay? So to make 100K a month, then you're gonna need 13 to 14 new clients a month, right? I think that's right. Yeah, 13 to 14 sales or new clients, which is going to be sales per month. Okay, so Now, obviously, out of every 4 meetings, let's just say you close 1 client, okay? So let's just say the math on average, right? Let's just say you got a 25% close rate, pretty standard. If you've never done sales before, you could probably get to a 25% close rate, okay? So let's just say, 4 meetings, you actually get 1 client, okay? Let's just say that. So what does that mean? Well, that means that you need 56 meetings, okay, to close 14 clients, right? So that's the math. Now, to add to that math, let's just say out of every 100, let's just say you're doing cold DMs, right? Out of every 100 DMs that you send, let's just say you're tracking it. Let's just be away because you're going to need to track to get to 100K a month predictably. Let's just say you get 2 meetings, right? Which is, I'd say, pretty standard. For 100 DMs, you can get 2 meetings as it averages out. So what does that mean? Well, that means you're going to need 2,800 outreaches per month, right? To get those 56 meetings, to get 56 meetings, right? So that's like kind of the math, right? That's like how it works out. So if you want to be making 100K a month, for example, let's just say, you're taking 50% of that on average, you make $1,500 a month, your retention rate, the models stay with you for, 5 months. So you're making, if they don't increase their results, you're making, $7,500 a month. To make 100K a month, you're going to need to bring on 13, 14 models. This is one way of looking at it, by the way, as well. Like, obviously, you can do the math the other way, where, okay, you're taking 50%. Instead of signing more clients and scaling horizontally, you look at the traffic numbers instead and work it out with your model that way, right? So like if you just want to scale 1 model to 100K a month, and that's how you're going to get to 100K a month, you would just do the math for that. Okay, on average, she's getting, so right now she's getting 5 million views, which is resulting in 1,000 new subscribers, which is resulting in this much being made on the OnlyFans. And so we need to, 5x the amount of views we're getting to get to that 100K a month mark on average. So you can do the math both ways, right? This is just an easier way to explain it, just to give you like clarity around it. Hopefully that makes sense, right? So like I said, that's pretty much how it works, right? So like if you was, let's just say charging, because this is a thing as well, you can charge a retainer to models for a service. And I know people that do it and are very successful with it. But let's just say you charge 1.5K a month, right? They stay for 5 months on average. That's $7,500 per client. You're going to need 13 to 14 sales a month. Right, and then let's just say out of every 4 meetings, you close 1 client, you're going to need 56 meetings to close 14 clients. And let's just say you're doing cold DMs. Out of every 100 DMs you send, you're going to get 2 meetings on average. That means you need to send 2,800 outreaches to get 56 meetings. So you need to do the math, is my point. This is obviously just a random example, but based on what your goal is, if it's 50K a month, if it's 10K a month, if it's 100K a month, like whatever it is, whatever your goal is, if you want to bring on, let's just say you want to bring on 3 models. Okay, do the math what that's going to take to get to where you need to go. If you just want to scale 1 model up to 100K, do the math on where she's at now. Like you need to just break it down, right? You have to do the math. If you've got a model right now that's making $1,000 a month, okay, well, what does it take to generate that $1,000 a month? And realistically, how do we 100x that if we want to get to 100K a month? Is that even possible? Is it worth doing? Or should we look at getting it to 20K a month and then bringing on a couple more models? You need to do the math, right? Like everyone has this big goal in mind, but has no idea how to get it. So if you do the math and actually make a game plan for the number that you need to hit, you'll get to your goal, right? So that's the biggest takeaway, right? And you also need to understand your margins and what you need to invest to make it happen, right? You can use AI, just go back and forth with ChatGPT. This is what I'm making, this is all the data. What is it realistically going to take for me to get to 100K a month? Just doing the math. And, what are the different paths that I can get there, okay? Is it going to be vertically scaling this one model? Is it going to be getting 2 more models and vertically scaling them? Is it going to be going horizontal? Like, what is it, okay? What makes sense for your situation? So like I said, everyone has this massive goal in mind of, I want to get to 100K a month, but they have no idea how to get there. They're just like hoping that if they keep working and if they keep being productive, which productivity is bullshit, if they keep being productive, they're going to get it, but they're not, right? So you need to do the math and make a game plan for the number that you need to hit to get to your goal, right? So that's rule number 3, right? The math. Does that make sense to everyone in you? Everyone in the live, does that make fucking sense? Let me know in the chat. And if you're watching the recording, let me know in the comments. Cool. Right. Rule number 4. Rule number 4. So rule number 4 is my favorite rule. Keep it simple. Keep it simple, stupid, right? Keep it simple. So number 1, right? We're gonna say 1 avatar / niche, if you want to say. Okay, we're going after 1 avatar. Number 2, we're gonna have 1 offer. Number 3, we're gonna have 1 traffic source. Number 4, we're gonna have 1 sales script and process. Oh, fuck me. Jesus Christ. Ignore my spelling. I know it's meant to have 1 C. I'm a retard. 5. We're going to need 1 way of delivering results. Right? This could be a productized fulfillment service. 1 way of delivering results. And number 6, 1 goal. Okay? So, rule number 4 of getting to 100K a month with your agency or beyond, and bear in mind, I've taken this exact formula and scaled my agency to $1 million a month just off this, right? Like just off this, just literally this whole fucking thing. Like I've literally taken these principles and applied this to my own agency and got to $1 million a month, right? So you can get past 100K a month using this formula, right? So rule 4, keep it simple, okay? 1 avatar, 1 offer, 1 traffic source, 1 sales script and process, 1 way of delivering results, and 1 goal, okay? So 1 avatar, okay, is going to be, for example, if you're working with faceless models that want to block their countries and want to, they want to start OnlyFans, that would be your avatar, right? Offer, wherever your 1 offer is going to be. You do X, Y, Z, and the offer matches the avatar, right? The offer goes like hand in hand with the avatar. Like the offer should speak to your ideal avatar, which is why it's super important to go after a specific avatar. Then your traffic source goes hand in hand with these things, right? Your traffic source should also match your avatar, right? So for example, if you're going to do faceless models, it's going to be a different traffic source. So if your avatar is models that are already doing social media, making at least 10 grand a month, that are just like stuck, right? Like traffic source there for them is going to be like Instagram probably. Traffic source for a faceless model might be slightly different, right? It could be a cam website, wherever. Then you're going to need 1 sales script and process, right? Because, well, what is that? Well, you're going to be speaking to the same avatar, so they're going to have the same pains, the same desires, the same outcomes, and you're going to need to understand that. And that is how you make sure that you're having the highest consistent close rate, because you're speaking to the same type of person with the same type of pains, outcomes, desires, and problems, okay? And then you're gonna have one way of delivering results, right? So like a productized fulfillment system where, the onboarding process is the same, the fulfillment process is the same in terms of the marketing side, in terms of the client success side, in terms of the chat inside, in terms of the OnlyFans account side, like everything is the same. It's just one of everything the same because you're working with the same avatar, okay? And these all go hand in hand. And then one goal, right? Wherever the one goal is, getting to 100K a month as an example, okay? So that's what you need to understand. Does that make sense? Right? The key here is simple things scale, right? Like I'm going to write this down. Simple, like you need to really drill this into your brain. Simple scales, complex fails. Okay? Fucking live by this motto. Simple scales, complex fails. Simple things scale. The more complicated you make your business, the less money you actually make. Right? You can brute force your way to scale to 500K a month, wherever. You're going to make less money. You're going to be more stressed. Like you don't want to build a business that way. And eventually it's all going to come crashing down and boom. Right? Like the issue is people think their businesses are going to last forever. Like they're making 100K a month and they just think, oh yeah, this is going to last forever. Like, I can chill, I can whatever. No, it doesn't work like that. Like it just doesn't work like that. Right? Take it from me. Now, rule number 5 of getting to 100, I've used dollar signs, I've used pound signs, Jesus. Rule 5 of 100K a month. Why did I write 100K a month? That's not a rule. Rule 5 is, it's a big one. Rule 5 is build a business, not a job. Okay? Your business is meant to work for you. You are not meant to work for the business. Okay? So rule number 5, super simple. There's nothing else really to it. Right? Like your business is meant to work for you. You are not meant to work for the business. So you need to understand how you're going to decentralize yourself. Right? How you're going to simplify, how you're going to eliminate, how you're going to automate, and how you're going to delegate. Those are the 4 things that you need to understand as a business owner. You're going to review your business, look at your business, audit your business. You're going to look, okay, what can we simplify? Okay, once we've simplified, what can we eliminate? Okay, once we've eliminated, what can we automate? Okay, once we've automated, what can we delegate? Cool. We're building a business, not a job. We need to be hiring, right? We need to be sourcing talent. We need to understand how to recruit A players. We need a talent recruitment funnel, right? We need to understand this stuff because otherwise you're just going to golden handcuffs working a job. Okay, so that's it. That's super simple, right? That is literally rule number 5. Like build a business, not a job. Pretty self-explanatory, right? We didn't fucking become entrepreneurs and pick the hardest path that anyone can possibly take and the loneliest path that anyone can possibly take to build a job, right? We didn't do that. Like you deserve more. Like if you're gonna build a business and you've chosen this path of becoming an entrepreneur, don't just build a higher paid job for yourself, right? Just fuck it. You're taking all this risk as a business owner. You're giving people opportunities. You're giving people jobs. You don't also want to be working a job. Fuck that. I mean, if you do, by all means, you go and do you. But my channel's probably not for you then. Like, I don't want to be making 500 grand a month and I'm a slave to my business and my profit sucks and I'm stressed all the time and I'm just working a job. And if I even leave for a day or a week or a month, my business is going to fall apart. I took 3 months off last year and fucked off in Cape Town. I didn't work a single fucking day. Did my business fall apart? No, we made more fucking money. We made more money in both my businesses. It's because I built a business, not a job. Most people couldn't do that. I guarantee the people watching this video, I don't care if you're making a 500 grand a month, $1 million a monmonth, go take 3 months off your business, don't even look at it. See what happens. It's going to fall apart. Mine didn't. Mine fucking didn't. Go watch my Cape Town vlog. I fucked around the entire time. Like, come on. That's rule number 5, right? Build a business or a job. Now, rule number 6. By the way, there's only 9 rules, so we're almost at the end here, right? But this is a big one. Rule number 6 is maybe the most important one. So pay attention. Super simple, one word, speed. Rule number 6 is speed. Most agencies sit on good systems for too long and work for healthy growth. And then that system eventually dies out and they never scale it to the levels that they could have if they had just put a little more into it, right? So when you find something that works, you have to go all in, okay? When you find something that works, you have to go all in. So if you find a system that's working, for example, I'll give you an example of what we did. When trial reels first got released, we looked at it and thought, this is interesting. Just from historical experience, we know that these platforms usually give a massive reward to the people that test out these new features and actually use them. Maybe there's something new. Let's fuck around with this. It took us a week to figure out how trial reels worked, what we could do to best get traffic. We started getting all of our models' most viral content. It's already gone viral, so it's already proven, because stuff doesn't go viral by accident. If you think stuff goes viral by accident, you got another fucking problem. But, if something's gone viral once, it'll go viral time and time again. Trial reels taught us this. So we went through all our models' content. We got all of the most viral videos she'd ever made. We directly put them into Tick Fusion. We spliced that content, and we was uploading 100 posts a day on trial reels of the exact same viral videos that had already gone viral once, and pushing them to a new audience, because trial reels was showing them to a new audience. So videos that already had 10, 20, 30 million views, we would repost them again on trial reels 100 times a day, and they would still get 5, 10, 20, tons of views. We literally was a couple models. We got over 1 billion views in a month with just like a few different models, like each, right? Abusing trial reels, right? We scale multiple models to almost multiple 6 figures a month, right? From like not a lot. Now, that was a system that worked, and we went all in and maximized it, okay? Because we knew eventually that system was going to face entropy and was going to die or not be as good as it currently is. So we went all in because we found something that works. Now, a lot of people at the same time started doing trial reels, and they didn't go all in. Even though I was talking about it, they didn't go all in. They just wanted some healthy growth. Oh, this is nice. We're making a bit more money. Oh, this is cool. Let's do this. Let's post 10 times a day. Let's post 3 times a day. Like, they didn't maximize the system. And now they're like, oh, Dylan, does the trial reels thing still work? No, you fucking missed the boat, dumbass. Like, I told you to go all in on that shit, but you didn't fucking listen. But guess what? The people that was in my fucking inner circle, in the syndicate, in the partnership program that we offer, they all printed money because they all understood this and they all listened. And oh my God, the results in that group for those 6 months was just absolutely insane. But everyone else didn't understand this principle and they didn't go all in. So the point is, when you find something that works, go all in, because most agencies sit on good systems for too long and they look for healthy growth. They work for healthy growth. Right? But that system is going to die out. So wherever you're doing right now that's working, if you've got an acquisition system that's working, if you're making YouTube videos and it's bringing in clients and it feels easy, that's not the time to relax and be like, life's good. Like, I'm going to chill. Like, I'm getting these clients, because that's not going to last forever. There'll be a couple of months where you're going to be like, fuck, our business is declining. What the fuck happened? It's because you didn't maximize the system and stopped working. Now you got to go and do something else. Now you're starting from fucking ground zero again. Right? So a lot of people simply think that it isn't possible to go from 0 to 100K per month in a short period of time. But that belief is not based on fact. It's based on fear, right? So if you look at our agency, for example, we scaled this business to multiple 6 figures in less than 3 months after failing for 6 months straight. How? Because we had a system that booked appointments, that got sales, and then delivered results. And instead of us just sitting on that, we went all in, okay? And I've had tons of people do the same thing. And the only people that really fail are the ones that don't go all in on the shit that's working. So, speed. Now, does that make sense? Let me know in the comments, in the chat, if that makes sense. Cool. Rule number 7. We're almost at the end here. Rule number 7 of getting to 100K a month, okay? Rule number 7. Rule number 7 is, oh shit. Rule number 7 is build systems. Systems is such a buzzword now, but it is so real. You need to build systems, right? It is the most important thing, right? So let's just say, right, you've got, let me redo that bit. That's messy. Let's just say you've got your 100K a month agency, okay? This is your 100K a month agency here, okay? I'm gonna add some arrows. Okay, you got a 100K a month agency. You're gonna need, we're gonna say S1. That means system one, right? System one is gonna be appointments. Okay, we're gonna put that in a little box. Then you're gonna have system two. That is gonna be sales. Okay, put that in a nice little box. Then we're gonna have system three. That is gonna be delivery or fulfillment. Okay, so that is your chatting, your traffic, etc. Okay, then we're gonna have system four, which is gonna be automation. Okay, cool. This is not the best drawing, by the way. We're gonna have system five, which is gonna be hiring. And again, you don't start you, but this is where you get to. Hiring. System six, retention or client success, okay? But, you know, retention is the overarching system. Then you're going to have system seven, which is going to be tracking. And then system eight, which is going to be referrals, right? As an example. Just an example, okay? Referrals. So your 100K a month agency, right? You're going to need systems, okay? And you're going to need to build those systems. And you're going to have feedback loops and tracking in those systems. Without systems, you're not going to have data to understand the decisions that you need to make as a business owner. Most people are reliant on making emotional decisions based on what they think that they should do. That's an issue. If you're making decisions, especially the big decisions in your business based on what you've heard from a YouTube video or from all this duct taped advice from YouTube videos or from what you think or from what this other agency's doing that's worked for them, you're a fucking retard, okay? Simply put, you are a retard. Like, oh, no, no, no. That's you, right? Cut that shit out. You make decisions on data. You don't have data unless you have systems and tracking and a fucking feedback loop, right? You have an input, you have a process, you have an output, then you have feedback. That's a system. That's all it is. Input, process, output, feedback. And then it feeds in and then you iterate on the system and make it better over time. And you get data to make decisions on how to iterate the system or whether to move and pivot to a different system. Don't be a retard. Build systems, right? And then you're even going to have like systems and processes within those systems, right? So, for example, you know, you're gonna have a system one, right? Is going to be like appointments. Okay. In those fucking systems, you're gonna have tons of different processes and people and all this shit. And you're gonna need a feedback loop, right? But we're not going to get deep into systems, but that's what you need. You need to understand you need to build systems. If you don't, you have no predictability, no reliability, and no real scalability. You're just fucking hoping for the best in reality, right? And you can make the right emotional decisions, but you're just massive risk. And as you get bigger, oh my God, you're fucked, okay? So rule number 8 is build a team. Okay. Now, to build a team, you need to understand the evolution phases of business, is what I call them. Okay. You might know them as something else, but I call them the evolution phases of business. So when you're building a team, you first have to understand, the majority of the time, this, you know, when I say this, understand the nuance, right? There's always going to be like, when I say this doesn't mean you have to be the best at everything. You need to understand every single component of your business to a T, because that's never going to work. You've got a certain specialized knowledge that you're good at that you should do, right? Like you should understand what your specialized skill is, what you enjoy doing. And that's where all your sort of like leverage is going to come from. However, when you are building a business, especially in the early stages of getting to, small numbers like 100K a month and so on and so forth, firstly, most of the things that you're going to do at the start, you're going to be doing it yourself, right? So at the start, let's just use the example of appointment setting, right? So doing cold outreach. At the start, you're going to be doing it yourself. And that is going to fucking hurt, okay? That's going to hurt because you're figuring it out. You're trying to find a process that works for cold outreach, which hurts. And it's also very volatile, right? Because you could bring maybe one model in every now and again, and it's feast and famine. And because you don't have a predictable, reliable way to bring in more models and bring in better models, your revenue is going to take a bump. And this is the same with anything, right? We're just using cold outreach as an example. This could be with traffic. This could be with anything, right? So you're going to need to learn it, and you're going to do it yourself first. The point of doing it yourself is to prove a process. Okay, so you're going to prove that process. And once you've proven a process and you've got the data and you're starting to build a little bit of a system, and you understand, okay, this cold outreach thing's working. For every 100 appointments I'm sending, for every 100 outreaches I'm sending, I'm getting 2 appointments, right? For you to do that, you then start to prove that process, and it starts to feel good because now it's stable. If you send 100 DMs tomorrow, you're going to get 2 appointments, which is going to result in 1 close, which is going to result in X amount of money being made for the business. And now the business starts to have some stability on that acquisition side. Okay. Now, at that point, it's no longer leverage of you to keep doing it yourself. And you have to then go through the pain of teaching it to someone else. So that is going to be bringing someone on to do cold outreach for you, because now your focus is spent better on fulfillment, because you've solved the problem of acquisition, you've proved a process for it, and so now you should delegate it, right? So now you should see what you should simplify, see what you should eliminate, see what you should automate, and see what you can delegate. So you're going to delegate that, and so you're going to bring in a couple of appointment setters. Maybe you hire 10 appointment setters and you take them through the process that you've proved, and you hire the best one who gets the best results. Okay, now you're going to teaching it. Now, this hurts more than doing it yourself, because you now somehow have to teach someone to do what you do as good as you, which is never necessarily going to happen. And so you're going to have to filter through a lot of people, hire in rounds, bring in as many people as possible to find a good person, right? And you might have to hire 3 people to be able to do as good as a job as just you, because no one is going to care about your business as much as you. And so it might take 3 people to do the same job that it takes you on your own to do. And that's fine, okay? Because you have more leverage now focusing elsewhere. So you go to teaching it, which hurts more and also brings more volatility, right? Because now you've proved the process. You were getting 2 appointments every 100 outreaches, but these guys might only be getting 1. Or you know what I mean? So, because they're not up to scratch with it. So proving the process is really key, but you should be, when you're proving the process, when you're doing it yourself, you need to be building assets. You need to be what I call building a war chest of everything that works, and building it into a system and into a provable process with, SOPs and videos and everything on exactly how some idiot could replicate it and still get results, right? That's pretty much what I do in my programs. Right? I take what I've done myself or what people on my team have done, I dial that into a proven process, into a system, and then I just give it to people and say, here you go, do this, and it works, right? They might not be able to do it as well as me, but it works. So then once you're teaching it, you've hired some people and they're doing cold outreach as an example. And again, this applies for every aspect of your business, right? Traffic, creative directors, ops people, everything, right? You have to do this and go through this cycle every single time, but this is the evolution phase of business. So you've gone from doing it yourself, which hurts, to proving a process, which feels good, and now you have some stability, to then having to remove yourself from the process because your time's better spent elsewhere, to teaching it, which is gonna hurt more, which is gonna be volatile. And then once you're teaching it, this is where you start to optimize and systemize, because now you're seeing other people go through your process, and there might be nuances that you didn't run into, and you're going to start to optimize it, iterate it, because you've got, in the system. Again, this is how every system works, right? Every system is input, okay, to process, I can't spell, process to output to feedback. and it's a loop, right? And so you're going to be iterating this system, optimizing this system. And once you've done that, that means you can now bring on as many people as possible. They can follow the system and it works and you're good to go. You can chill and now it starts to feel good again. And now you got some stability back, but you're at a higher level. And the key thing to understand you is at each stage, right? When you're doing it yourself, you're going to be at this volatile stage. Let me use red for this. How the fuck do I use red? Okay, I have no idea how to use red. But if you can see you, right, this flow graph, you're going to be at this volatile stage when you're doing it yourself, right? Then when you get to prove the process, you're going to be at this flow, right? Then you go to volatility again, which is you, right? Then you're going to hit a stable flow again, but you're going to be at a higher revenue. So let's just say this flow is 10K a month, and this part you is between 1 and 10K a month, and you're volatile. Then you're going to get volatile again. Let's just say it's between 10K a month and 30K a month. Then you're going to hit that flow at 30K a month. Then you're going to be really volatile again. And then you're going to go from optimizing it, which feels good and stable, to now managing it. So this is where you become a people manager. This still hurts, but it hurts differently. And this is also volatile because now you're managing people and their expectations and tracking KPIs and tracking end-of-day reports. And this is a different skill in and of itself until you've got accountable expectations. And then at this stage, right, you hit a new flow. This could be 100K a month, right? And it's stable. And at this point, there's only 3 things that can happen. You either hit success, right, because you've done this properly and you haven't skipped steps. Because the issue is a lot of people try and skip from doing it themselves to managing it, but it doesn't work, right? So you're either going to, if you do this right and you follow, you're going to hit success, or you're going to burn out and have to try again. Does that make sense? So rule number 8 is build a team. Now, the last rule, okay, the last rule. Is this making sense? Is everyone getting value from this? Drop in the comments, drop in the chat if you're getting value from this. This is the very last rule, which is rule number 9. Rule number 9, what do we think it is? Rule number 9 is an interesting one. It is what I call relentless product improvement. Okay, rule number 9 again to 100K a month is relentless product improvement. So how do you compete with the agency who goes all in on just TikTok and one traffic source when you are doing dating apps, Clapper, paid ads, GGs, Reddit, IG, TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, Camin, Snapchat? You can't, right? This is you, okay? Your energy and time is in 8 different directions. This is the agency that you want to have that's making 100K a month, $1 million a month. They're spending all their time and energy in one direction, right? One traffic source, right? So the point of all of this is simplicity scales. That is the point of this entire getting to 100K a month or 500K a month or $1 million a month, wherever your goal is. Simplicity scales, okay? So do not fall into the trap of adding more stuff and being this person. Be this person, right? Because energy and time is all you have, and it's a finite resource that you spend it every single day, no matter what. And so the multiplier of energy and time is focus. So if you focus on one thing, you get more out of your energy and time versus the person that's doing this and chasing all the fucking shiny objects and chasing the rabbit. Okay? That is how you scale your agency to 100K a month. Does that make sense? And yeah, that's literally going to be it. Like, that is literally going to be it for this video. So, yeah, if that's pretty much it. Like, there's nothing else really to it. Like, that is how you scale. So just to recap, right? The rules of getting to 100K a month. Number 1, irresistible offer. Number 2, value actions. Number 3, math. Number 4, keep it simple. Number 5, build a business or a job. Number 6 is speed. Number 7 is build systems. Number 8 is build a team. And number 9 is relentless product improvement. Okay? So that is literally it. That's all it takes to build your business to 100K a month.